Good afternoon. It's about 1:15 noon, and it is a beautiful day. Beautiful bluebird sky. I'm heading north. I'm going to ride across the Kank, which is the Kankomagus Highway. It's a really beautiful, twisty road that cuts across the state from east to west, and it goes, it snakes along the river, and there's a bunch of scenic outlooks to look over the White Mountains and the Franconia Range. It's just really beautiful. And right there is Mount Shikorowa, which is one of the most photographed mountains in the state, if not the most photographed, because of its rocky peak. They call it the Matterhorn of the East. I'm not sure who they is, but that's what I heard somewhere. And that's Shikorowa Lake. So I'm heading north. Still seeing a lot of Massachusetts plates heading south, so I guess a lot of people opted to wait until today to leave. Anyway, I hope you can hear me. My helmet seems to be letting in a lot of wind today, and it is really windy, so just watch for Mount Shikorowa, I believe, is 3475 in elevation, so 3,475 feet. And I'm gonna stop the video for now and just concentrate on getting up to the Kank.
The White Mountains offer activities and adventure 365 days out of the year, and the Kankomagus Highway is no exception. The Kankomagus Highway is a portion of New Hampshire Route 112 spanning east to west from Lincoln to Conway. The 34.5-mile, 55.5-kilometer drive is a recognized national scenic byway, offering travelers rich history and natural beauty, in addition to being considered one of the best fall foliage viewing areas in the world. The byway twists across the state through the heart of the scenic and rugged White Mountain National Forest. Locally known as the Kank, the Kankomagus Highway portion of New Hampshire Route 112 begins just east of the town center of Lincoln. The state highway re-enters the White Mountain National Forest, following the east branch of the Pemigewasset River for approximately 4 miles, 6 kilometers, then the Hancock branch for another 8 miles, 13 kilometers, steadily ascending as it progresses eastward. Following twists and turns, New Hampshire Route 112 crosses the height of land at 2,855 foot, 870 meter, Kancamagus Pass and begins to descend along the Swift River in the Saco River watershed, which it does for its remaining 21 miles, 34 kilometers. Eventually, the highway leaves the National Forest and enters the town of Conway, where it terminates at Main Street, or New Hampshire Route 16, New Hampshire Route 113 west of downtown. There are no services along the Kank, so make sure to have enough gas and pack food and water for your adventure. This highway opened in August 1959, after two dead-end stretches of road were linked, creating a connection between U.S. Route 3 in Lincoln and New Hampshire Route 16 in Conway. The Kank was paved in 1964, and in the winter of 1966-67 it was plowed for the first time. The road is open year-round, and while it is open in the winter, minus Bear Notch Road, which goes to Bartlett, the highway can close at times due to winter storms, so make sure to check conditions in advance. The Kank is fully paved and is great for any vehicle, including RVs and trailers. The road can be steep, but there is only one hairpin turn near the Hancock Overlook. The drive along the Kank takes just under an hour without stops. To know though is that not all parking lots offer parking for RVs larger than a van, otherwise you may have to skip some stops. Driving the Kank is free, but some overlooks and trailheads have a $5 per car day use fee. The America the Beautiful Pass, which is $80 per year, does cover this parking fee, so make sure to bring it along if you have one. The highway is named after Chief Kancamagus, Fearless One, third and final Sagamore chief of the Pennacook Confederacy of Native American Tribes, nephew of Chief Wanalancet and grandson of Chief Passaconaway. Kancamagus ruled what is now southern New Hampshire. After English settlers arrested a number of Pennacook tribe members, he was forced to make the decision in 1691 to move north into upper New Hampshire near what is now Quebec, Canada. This highway is a very popular tourist destination due to its many scenic views and locations. Dogs are allowed at most of the stops along the Kank, so your best friend will get to enjoy the drive with you, but please make sure to keep them on a leash. Scenic outlook sites are located along the Kank, including one near the crest of Kancamagus Pass. The Sugar Hill Overlook, 17.3 miles, 27.8 kilometers in, has northeast views of Owl Cliff, Mount Tremont, Bear Mountain, and, of course, Sugar Hill. The C.L. Graham Overlook, 21.7 miles, 34.9 kilometers in, views the Swift River watershed from the northeast. This area was once a meeting place or wanging ground for local Native Americans. Overlook, 21.9 miles, 35.2 kilometers in, has unobstructed views southwest from this scenic viewpoint include the Osceola Mountains. It's a nice place to stop for lunch, thanks to the covered picnic pavilion, which offers a shady spot to take in the landscape. There's also a vault toilet here. The unnamed Overlook, 23.3 miles, 37.5 kilometers in, is a sometimes overlooked pullout on the south side of the Kank just east of the more celebrated Hancock Overlook, and also has great views of the Osceolas. Look, 23.8 miles, 30.3 kilometers in, is wrapped by the Kank's most notoriously curved section of highway, the Hairpin Curve, and is another stop worth making for its Osceola Mountains views and shady covered pavilion. The overlook also serves as the trailhead for the Hancock Notch Trail, which connects with the Cedar Brook and Hancock Loop trails to reach the top of Mount Hancock. RVs and vehicles towing trailers are warned away from this pullout due to difficult turns. With summer vacations, the crowds may be a bit higher at times, but the amount of activity options will be endless. In the fall, the highway is covered in an assortment of reds, oranges, and yellows, making everything extra beautiful and interesting to look at. The busiest weekend on the Kank is said to be the second weekend in October due to peak foliage landing around that time as well as the long Indigenous Peoples or Columbus Day holiday weekend. Within 1/4 mile, 0.40 kilometer, of the Kank, which means that launching it from an overlook is not allowed, despite what photos you may see online. There are many signs telling you this along the road. According to the Forest Service, drones are allowed in the White Mountain National Forest as long as the landing of the drone does not occur within 1/4 mile of a forest protection area, alpine zone, or area otherwise listed in Exhibit B of Forest Order R9-22-19-01. The prohibited area includes the Kankomagus Highway unfortunately, but if you're able to get over 1/4 mile from the road and into a safe area noted in the link above, you can fly it. There are 6 National Forest campground sites. The Covered Bridge Campground, 6.1 miles, 9.8 kilometers in, is a 49-site, reservation-required campsite at Albany Covered Bridge. Campground, 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers in, originally served as a Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, camp in the 1930s. The campground has 26 first-come, first-served campground sites, hand pumps for water, and vault toilets. An interpretive trail details the area's CCC history. Jigger Johnson Campground, 12.4 miles, 20 kilometers in, named for a White Mountains logging boss, has 76 campsites, 9 for tents only, the others for tents or RVs, potable water, picnic tables, and toilets. It's also the only Kank campsite with showers. A trail leads from the campsite to the nearby Russell Colbath House Historic Site. Passaconaway Campground, 14.2 miles, 22.9 kilometers in, is close to the midpoint of the Kank, and has 33 forest-shaded tent, trailer, and RV sites, including a couple sites located streamside. The trailhead for the Downs Brook, UNH, and Mount Patash hiking trails start across the street, on the south side of the Kank. Ground, 28 miles, 22.9 kilometers in, requires reservations to stay overnight at this 25-site wooded campground. And yes, there is a large, glacier-deposited rock here. Hancock Campground, 30.5 miles, 49.1 kilometers in, is a year-round campground with 56 wooded sites, drinking water, and vault toilets close to Lincoln Woods. The Hancock Campground doesn't accept reservations. Campsites are first come, first served. The Kank also has numerous hiking trails. Lower Falls, 6.8 miles, 10.9 kilometers in, is a section of the Swift River with gentle cascades flowing over granite rocks, creating small waterfalls and swimming holes and placid pools for highly popular summer swims. Popular stops on the Kank, Lower Falls has a CCC-constructed picnic pavilion overlooking a stepped waterfall on the Swift River that attracts families of swimmers to the water and sunbathers to its rocky ledges in the warmer months. The Nanamokomock Ski Trail also can be accessed here. Rocky Gorge Scenic Area, 9 miles, 14.5 kilometers in, was carved by glaciers. A dramatic and deep cut through the White Mountains bedrock channels the waters of the Swift River into a noisy rush. A short, accessible path through a pine forest leads to a bridge crossing a deep, narrow gorge and waterfall. The view is spectacular, but swimming is prohibited in the gorge. Restrooms are available. Rocky Gorge also serves as the trailhead for the short, flat, 1 mile, 1.6 kilometer, Lovequist Loop Trail, which circles Falls Pond. Falls, 14.5 miles, 23.3 kilometers in, has stairways which get you so close to these falls that you feel like you're inside them. A beautiful 0.6 mile, 1 kilometer, riverside footpath leads to a series of staircases offering up-close views of the 45-foot, 13.7 meter, Sabaday Falls. The mist from the falls, carved out of a basalt fault line, is cool and refreshing on a hot summer day. This is another very popular spot on the Kank, so parking can sometimes be an issue. Road, 12.1 miles, 19.5 kilometers in, is open from late spring to early fall, and is a side road off of and the only intersection with the Kank. Bear Notch Road offers even more scenic views and hiking opportunities. When open, Bear Notch Road connects the Kank to Route 302 in Bartlett, home of Attitash Ski Resort. The 9-mile, 14.5 kilometer, drive has 4 scenic viewpoints and accesses the Attitash Trail to the summit of Table Mountain. Most of the road is closed between November and early May, although a 1-mile, 1.6 kilometer, segment on the Kank end is plowed to allow year-round access to the Nanamokomock Ski Trail. Lincoln Woods, 30 miles, 48.3 kilometers in, is a picturesque suspension bridge that spans the gap between civilization and the vast Pemigewasset Wilderness. The gateway to the 45,000-acre Pemigewasset Wilderness area, the largest in the northeastern U.S. and the rugged alpine terrain of the Franconia Mountains, Lincoln Woods is a 9.8-mile, 15.8-kilometer, round trip which is relatively flat and takes you by the river and through the forest and has a visitor center with detailed park, hiking, and camping information. There's a gentle, self-guided loop trail near the river, while more hardcore hikers head north on the east side and Lincoln Woods trails to the Bond Cliffs and 13 Falls campsites, the 6.8-mile, 10.9-kilometer, round-trip Franconia Falls Trail, and beyond. Albany Town Forest, 0.7 miles, 1.1 kilometers in, is located on the small section of the Kank that's not within the White Mountain National Forest. The 302-acre Albany Town Forest has a 5-mile, 8-kilometer, network of hiking trails that run along the Swift and Saco rivers. There's also a 1-mile, 1.6-kilometer, mountain biking loop trail. Albany Covered Bridge, 6.1 miles, 9.8 kilometers in. Built in 1858, this classic New England covered bridge remains in service, providing pedestrian and automobile access to the Nanamokomook Ski Trail, the Covered Bridge Campground, and the 3.1-mile, 5-kilometer, Boulder Loop Trail. A popular Swift River fishing area sits just below the bridge abutments. Champney Falls is relatively flat as it goes through the forest and along a brook before you reach a junction. Going to the left and after a short climb, you'll reach the bottom tier of Champney Falls. Despite the trail being named after these falls, the real gem, in many hikers' opinion, is Pitcher Falls. Pitcher Falls can be very easy to miss. To get to the falls, you will cross the rocks at the bottom of Champney Falls and you'll soon reach a rock nook, where Pitcher Falls flows down the side of a cliff. It's quite unique. Once back on the trail it gets pretty steep, but you'll get to see more of Champney Falls as it flows down rocks, before reaching the top of the falls. The top isn't super impressive, but if you look out the gap in the trees you'll have a great view of the White Mountains. You will continue this loop back to the main trail and if you have more time, you can continue on to Mount Chocorua, which is 7.4 miles, 11.9 kilometers, and has 2,244 feet, 684 meters, of elevation gain. Oliverian Brook Trailhead, 13.2 miles, 21.2 kilometers in, is an easy to moderately difficult 1.9 miles, 3.1 kilometers, to Passaconaway Cutoff, near the base of Mount Passaconaway, and 4.4 miles, 7.1 kilometers, to Paugus Pass. The trail is open to hikers and cross-country skiers in winter. Sawyer Pond Trailhead, 13.5 miles, 21.7 kilometers in, is a 4.5-mile, 7.2 kilometer, one-way route from the Kank to Sawyer Pond on a moderately difficult hiking trail, which includes fording the Swift River. It's an easier, 4-mile, 6.4 kilometer, round trip to the lake from the north end of the trail, which begins off of Route 302 in Bartlett. Pine Bend Brook Trailhead, 16.4 miles, 26.4 kilometers in, is a 9-mile, 14.5 kilometer, out-and-back trail along an old logging railroad grade offers access to the summit of North Tri-Pyramid and the Sandwich Range Wilderness. Parking is on the roadside only. Sawyer River Trailhead, 18.5 miles, 29.8 kilometers in. The bad news, this hike requires you to ford the Swift River, which as the name implies, can sometimes have quite a strong current. The plus side, it's not a very popular trail, so if you value solitude, this is your hike. The river is easiest to cross in late summer or early fall. The trail runs a total of 7.5 miles, 12.1 kilometers, north to Route 302. Lily Pond, 19.3 miles, 31.1 kilometers in. If you time your visit right, dawn or dusk are best, you might see a moose in this mountain pond. The Livermore Trail and Upper Nanamokomook Cross-Country Ski Trail can also be accessed here. It's just a short walk from the gravel parking lot to the pond, which is a natural pond just off the side of the highway. Just a quick walk through some trees and brush will take you to the pond. This can be a bit muddy if it has rained, and once you get to the pond, you'll have a great mountain backdrop. Otter Rocks, 27 miles, 43.5 kilometers in. Families flock to this swimming hole on the Hancock branch of the Pemigewasset River, which has a small pool and picnic tables overlooking the river. Caution is advised when water levels are high. Forest Discovery Trail, 27.8 miles, 44.7 kilometers in, is another family-friendly stop, a 1.5-mile, 2.4-kilometer, loop trail gaining about 200 feet, 61 meters, of elevation. Interpretive panels explain the natural environment as well as forest management. Trail guides are available in a box at the trailhead. Boulder Loop Trailhead. This 2.8-mile, 4.5-kilometer, round-trip hike starts on the other side of the Albany Covered Bridge and while steep, gaining 912 feet, 278 meters, of elevation, you'll be treated to a beautiful open view of the White Mountains at the top. The Russell Colbath House Historic Site, 12.5 miles, 3.8 kilometers in, is a self-guided interpretive path which leads to a historic home built in 1832. Along with a nearby cemetery, it's the last remnant of the farming village of Passacotaway. The house is periodically open for guided tours, July through September. Check at the ranger station for schedules. A newer barn on the site is used for events, and the half-mile rail and river trail visits the Swift River near the site of an old logging railroad bridge. If you're looking for a bite to eat before or after driving the Kank, here are some suggestions in the areas both to the west and east. On the western side of the Kank, eat at the Coffee Pot Restaurant or Schilling Beer Company in Littleton, Polly's Pancake Parlor in Franconia. This is said to be the best place to get breakfast in the White Mountains. Reckless Brewing Company in Bethlehem, Woodstock and Brewery in North Woodstock, or Black Mountain Burger Company, The Common Man, or White Mountain Bagel Company in Lincoln. On the eastern side of the Kank, eat at Cheese Louise in Conway. It's located right on the Kank, so it's an easy stop, or Wicked Fresh Craft Burgers, Flatbread Company, Peaches Restaurant, or Frontside Coffee Roasters in North Conway. Before embarking on your adventure, please remember to practice leave no trace principles, including planning ahead and preparing, hiking and camping on durable surfaces, disposing of waste properly and packing out what you pack in, understanding campfire rules and always fully extinguishing your fires, respecting wildlife, and being considerate of other visitors. This ensures you leave every place better than you found it, so that others can enjoy these beautiful places for many years to come.
I can't stand, no matter how hard you try. You're wearing down every bone, but only just getting by. In my mind, there's nothing else you can do. The world is filled with color, and all you ever see is blue. I can see that it's wearing you down, and I know when you pick yourself off of the ground. You were constantly working things out, and you do without making a sound. You try and you're battling life. It's constantly bringing you down. I can see that you're working things out. It's a fine line between seeing that you need a new start, changing everything that you are, just to find your way through the dark. I can see that it's wearing you down, and I know when you pick yourself off of the ground. You were constantly working things out. life. We will leave them there, 'cause the warmth of these hands are mine. I've said no, don't go. I've said no, don't go. We were always on the run. We waited for this moment. Just communicate. We took this all for granted. Should we leave this where we want? Just communicate. Now there were good times, we just left them there. When I felt your hand slip from mine. It's been a long time coming. Should we leave it there, or prove that we could fight? We were always on the run. We waited for this moment. Just communicate. We took this all for granted. Should we leave this where we want? Please communicate. I've said no, don't go. 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 We took this all for granted. Should we leave this where we want? Please communicate. We were always on the run. We always said this is how she'll raise us. Even when last picked, focus on the best bits of the day. So, when I was a kid, I was so courageous. I always had my eyes wide, looking for the bright side of the day. Said sun life's not there to break us, but when you're feeling down, I will be around when you need a hand. I can see, kid, you are still courageous. You're cutting out the bad bits, making all the pegs fit in your own way. He says, never come down, daydreamer. Hey now, it's been a long time coming, but I've been ready for a while. Hey now, I'm growing tired of waiting. I'll stand lonely in the crowd, and I don't wanna prove you wrong. This time, I'm still sailing to the sun. Oh, I'm not ready to go home yet. Leave me a light on. Leave me a light, leave me a light on. Hey now, it's been a long time coming, but I've been ready for a while. Hey now, I'm growing tired of waiting. I'll stand lonely in the crowd. We all got our demons. Sometimes I just need them to make the choices so hard. Has it got me this far? I and it burns from inside. I've been biting my tongue, waiting my turn, ready for what is to come. I really don't know right now. It's been a long time coming, but I've been ready for a while. I'm not ready to go home yet. Leave me alone. And I don't wanna prove you wrong. This time I'm still sailing to the sun. Oh, I'm not ready to go home yet. Leave me alone. Leave me light on. Leave me light on. Well, down your tools and play the game of an ordinary fairy tale. At least in there you cannot fail. Get back to basics and play the child's way. Oh, at least in there you cannot get hurt. No rules and regulations there. 'Cause I could be a king, I could be anything I want. I could be a poet, I could be some writing on the wall. I could be a superhero, staring down the barrel of a gun. I could be a piece of artwork, fading into the sun. Will you please down your tools and play the game of an ordinary fairy tale? At least in there you cannot fail. It's a shame, I know, but I have to go. I've had something planned for weeks and weeks. The situation's changed, you see, 'cause I could be a king, I could be anything I want. I could be a poet, I could be some writing on the wall. I could be a superhero, staring down the barrel of a gun. I could be a piece of artwork, is all around. It's the thing that knocks you down, then it picks you up again, just to break you into pieces. They say a broken heart can only mend, but it will never be new again. For us to start from the beginning and just be foolish. Was it all worth it now? Have you turned your life around? Are your feet firmly on the ground? Are you free?
Get up and face the truth. Life is up to you. Just go forward. Find your feet, my friend. Time heals everything. Just go forward. As the sun goes down, we carry on regardless. Arms are open wide. Fight the urge to cry. All feet forward. Stand up proud. Shout out loud. Follow the road, my friend. 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 Get up and face the truth. Life is up to you. Just go forward. Find your feet, my friend. Time heals everything. Just go forward. The sun goes down, we carry on regardless.
One, two, 1, 2. I heard it in your silence. Every word you never said, I saw it in your eyes, in the way you held your head. There are parts of me that are plain to see when you weep, and I hope that you know you can lean on me. Say what you want to me, 'cause I can see that you've been crying. Stay where you are, don't tell me that you're fine. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. Every photo tells a story, and it whispers a little truth. When we post our perfect moments, there's so much time we have to lose. The filter on the lens that shows the world can hide the times we're not so self-assured. Say what you want to me, 'cause I can see that you've been crying. Stay where you are, don't tell me that you're fine. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. I'm a call away. I'll see you soon. I'll see